Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Stuart Irvine and welcome to my solo review of WrestleMania 38 Night 1 and Night 2. As you can see, no Josh this time yet again. Obviously, very busy. Finding time to do reviews together has been hard the last couple of months, but he will be back at some point, and when he does, it's going to be very glorious. It's going to be awesome when we talk about wrestling yet again. But until then, obviously, just got to put up with myself talking about WrestleMania Night 1 and Night 2. Yes, obviously, had some cool stuff set up. You had obviously on night one, I think you had the Seth surprise, who's going to face. You had Bianca Belair versus Becky Lynch. You had Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey, and obviously you had the thing with Stone Cold being on the KO show. Night 2, we had obviously cool stuff to look forward to. We had obviously Edge versus AJ Styles. You had the main event with Brock Lesnar going against Roman Reigns for the unification of the WWE Universal Championships. The biggest match ever in WrestleMania. I would say it wouldn't, but I'm allowed to think that. But yeah, a lot of stuff to look forward to be fair. I admit the build-up was pretty lackluster this year, as always. WrestleMania wasn't really pumped for it. A lot of people I was talking to wasn't pumped for this WrestleMania. But how many times have I said that over the years where I've gone into WrestleMania not pumped for the build, and then I watched the WrestleMania and is wildly entertained by both nights or the show? There's always something there. It's what WWE annoyingly does sometimes, where you basically go into it thinking, oh, I hate this company, I hate it, and then when they put up an event like this and you go, oh, now I kind of understand why there are bits I do like about this company. They can put on a pretty decent WrestleMania now and then. They can when they want to. There have been some pretty rubbish ones over the years, but this is pretty good. I was actually pretty enjoyed this. I also stayed up both nights to watch both nights. So I stayed up very late in the morning as a UK fan to watch these. So so obviously where we're going to do this is we're just going to go through each match from Night 1 and Night 2. There's not going to be any breaks really. And then at the end we'll do my full thoughts of the whole Night 1 and Night 2, and I'll put what night I preferred more. Was it Night 1 or Night 2? So don't know what more to say. I guess we'll dive straight in to the opening contest. That was the WWE SmackDown Tag Team Championship match between the Usos going against Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boogs. I can never remember his name right. So let's go straight in to talk about that match.
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass.
Yes! You just made the list!
Brock Lesnar.
So as I said, we kicked off with the WWE SmackDown Tag Team Championship match with the Usos going against Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boogs. I always get that name wrong. I don't think I'm ever going to get that name right. So obviously this it wasn't anything crazy, this match. Obviously we had Nakamura and Rick Boogs' entrance was really awesome. I think I like that's why it kind of works sometimes, because the guitar entrance always sounds cool over Nakamura's theme, always does. The story of this match really was the one's going to remember for us, because obviously we've got a knee gave out after trying to take up both of the Usos trying to hit up on his shoulder, but his knee gave out. Obviously had to tag Nakamura in, and obviously for a little bit near the end of the match, obviously Nakamura was outnumbered 2-1 for the Usos, but the kind of match ended with was it the Usos hitting a 1D or it's a 3D on Nakamura to get the win. Nothing really crazy here in the match. But this is what it's going to be remembered for, kind of for that. Is Nitwick alright? Was it an injury that was just set up, or was it actually a legit injury? Obviously you could sit there and say it's a story, because obviously a week before he did fake knee injury to try and trick the Usos facing him in a match to get him and Nakamura a title shot. So maybe that might be a thing, but I don't know. But it's fine. Again, it's the opening. I think I prefer opening matches that show that sets the bar of what's going to go through the entire show. But this makes sense. I think they've done it in this night and in Night 2 as well, where they kind of put the matches that we weren't exactly invested in as much early on, so to get them out of the way, and then when we get later in the show, we get to the match which we really invested in, and they did it. I think they booked it quite nicely in that sense, WWE. We got a lot of the matches we weren't exactly thrilled upon. So yes, obviously for the bloodline, this is great. Starts night one. Stu tag team champions for the Usos. So yeah, awesome stuff. Don't have more to say here. But hopefully, Boogs is okay. Rick is okay. Hopefully, if it is an injury, if it's always just a setup for another story beat that we don't know about, we don't know. I haven't heard anything obviously since obviously this 2 days now, because I've recorded this on a Monday. So yeah, hopefully he's okay. But yeah, the Usos do WWE SmackDown Tag Team Champions. I don't know who's taking them belts off them, because when you think about it, they've got people like, was it the Viking Raiders are still in there? You've got some good tag teams. I think you still got the New Day are still. Yes, New Day are still on SmackDown. Sheamus and Holland, obviously weren't talking about in the match in night 2. But yeah, kind of a shocking indictment of the SmackDown tag division that this is the best they've got. Nothing against Nakamura, but Nakamura, Wick, Boobs is not really a tag team. It's more of a similar to Rick. What was it? Who's it? Fuck, my mind's gone completely back. Rusev and Adrian English. Same thing. That wasn't really a tag team, or in a sense, it was more. He was the hype man, and Rusev was the guy that wrestles. But yeah, I'm fine with this. It's fine. I'm interested to see whoever takes them titles off. But yeah, hopefully they do something Nakamura, because I think he's better than this. He should be at least fighting at least Roman for the universe title at some point. Obviously that's we'll find out. So yeah. So yes, no title change here. So yeah, let's go into the next. Kind of not exactly looking forward to match, but we've got to do it anyways. Obviously, let's quickly go and talk about Drew McIntyre going against Happy Corbin in a singles match. So yeah, let's go and talk about that match. So yeah, obviously next match we're talking about is Drew McIntyre going against Happy Corbin in a match that's kind of been set up of. It's a weird feud, this one, because obviously for me personally, I like the idea that Drew shouldn't be in a match. He's better than a match like this. This is a B-level feud that shouldn't be on an A-level show. Might be my opinion. I think Drew could do better. Not a huge fan of Baron Corbin. Obviously, Happy Corbin, King Corbin, Sad Corbin, whatever you want to go for. He's a gimmick change. He's had so many over the years. But yeah, I mean, it's nothing. I don't know. I just think they could have had this match somewhere else, not on this card. Drew could have been at least, I don't know. I mean, somewhere else. Put him in a match that's more high profile than this. But to be fair, if we didn't have that Brock match, this would have been Drew versus Roman Reigns for the title. I would have been up for that. But maybe we get that soon. Maybe Drew's the one. We don't know. It's all speculation. But for this match, it was serviceable. It was fine. It had some cool stuff. Obviously, you had a big talking point. Obviously, coming out of this match was obviously you had certain things like Moss trying to encourage was it Corbin on the apron, but obviously I think Corbin was getting very frustrated because obviously this is he's not happy-go-lucky kind of like jokingly Corbin. He's kind of very serious because obviously he's got an unbeaten record and he wants to keep it, and he doesn't want to lose it to Drew, so he's kind of was annoyed with Moss being on the apron. Obviously hit deep six. The big talking point kind of highlight was that the situation of that Corbin hit the end of days. They kind of alluded to that. No one's ever kicked out the end of days. That when I think about it, have they? I don't think they have. I mean, to be fair, it's not like it might have been the most protective finisher in all WWE or the wrestling. I just didn't know. It's like the Juice effect of Jericho and AEW. It's like I don't think anyone's kicked out of that I know of. So maybe it has, but like Cole made it more of a big deal than actually the way I felt about it. It's like. It was more of a, maybe it is. But yeah, obviously kicked out of that. Obviously Corbin was absolutely fuming at this, complaining to the ref. But obviously then it kind of, this kind of distraction, not looking where he's going. And obviously you got Corbin got hit by the end, the future shot DDT by Drew. Then a Claymore kick, 1, 2, 3, gets the win. He wins the WrestleMania. So we finally... Sad truth is, when you look at it, Drew's had a really tough time. Where 2 years ago he won the championship. Last year he lost his match against Bobby Lashley, and now he's going to get Happy Corbin in the second match of WrestleMania night 1. Yeah, it's fine. I think it's fine for what it is. If it leads up to something where Drew gets a big title shot, I'm happy with, or just does something interesting again, because it's been a bit if he's not going for the title, they never have anything interesting for him to go for, other than just don't talk crap about him and don't take his sword, because if he takes his sword, he gets really mad. Yeah, obviously, and then obviously after the match, you had the thing with Drew staring down Madcap Moss, obviously on the apron. Then he obviously got his sword, swung it at Moss, and it cuts the top rope and a little bit at the top in the middle rope. Just collapsed. I mean, that must be a strong sword of very stunt ropes. Took it out. And then we had a nice moment when he went up to his family, celebrated the win, and But yeah, got a moment, nothing really crazy to talk about here. I mean, all I say is they really, really patched up them ropes very quickly after that when we go into the next match. But hopefully Drew does something interesting. Happy Corbin. I'm doing something interesting with it. Hopefully, this is not a spoiler for my TW7 doing my own YouTube channel. You know, just go in there, subscribe, you know. Hint, hint, wink, wink. It's I don't know. I'd be interested to see if he finds out all the money and all the way doesn't mean nothing. If you can't get the win, or it doesn't get you anywhere as far as you can go. Maybe if it sets up an interesting story beat for him, because I think there is something there with Corbin. He's not that interesting. He's in Wing Bit, he's alright. His characters have been shopping around for years. But I think the most interesting one they had was when he was San Corbin. Because it was interesting, like a man that was so bad to everyone, lost everything. Wouldn't he want to change? Wouldn't he? I like that, because it's more of an interesting story than going and basically goes, oh, he gets money, now he's better, he gets arrogant again. It's like, no, I mean, Cameron Grimes is probably a perfect example that money doesn't change you. That I think is a better story. I have to at some point watch Stand Deliver at some point. I will do that. Would it be a review here? I don't think so, but I will watch it. But anyway, enough talk of that. But yeah, so Drew gets the win. That's hope. Yeah. They do sign with Drew. Obviously, maybe another shot at the title. Maybe give him the Intercontinental. Have him like a nice little feud against Ricochet. That'd be an awesome stuff. Let him have the Intercontinental title. Do something with him. Because Drew is amazing, so we'll find out soon enough. But yes, obviously, after that match, we'll talk about the match between the Mysterios, Ray and Dominic, going against The Miz and Logan Paul. In the kind of first of, two kind of celebrity matches you had over the 2 nights. So, yeah, so that's go and talk about that match. So now we go to the first of 2 celebrity matches they kind of had. I think it was 3 on the card. Obviously the Mysterios going against The Miz and Logan Paul. Obviously my first reaction, when you think Logan Paul, was like, no, not Logan Paul. He's got to be the most hated, most arrogant man on all of the internet. He's again our attributes that would work well in wrestling, because it means he's unlikable. So that means that you would pay good money to see someone beat the living crap out of him. Could explain why those boxing match got a lot of money. So he does get it in that sense. But I mean, this match, I don't know. We talk about it really in the sense of it was a bit crazy. But when it comes to the build-up, it's basically the idea that, similar to what Dominic is basically, the only reason he's got anywhere is because of his father, not because of his actually in-ring ability. But obviously something like The Miz has been the same story with The Miz, kind of workhorse. He's worked his way up, everything's done his own. But it's not wrong, but does he have to be a dick about it? It's always a thing. And obviously he gets Logan Paul as his partner to go against the Mysterios. Obviously we know a guy that's very arrogant, very, very arrogant. So I think that's the story there. Obviously can Dominic prove that he deserves to be here? And obviously you've got this. Hopefully they do pay off a story that I hope they do at some point, where it's like he finally realised that he needs to start going on his own, really, and not go on his own. He doesn't need his father's. He appreciates him helping him, but he needs to find his own path. Hope they do that at some point. I don't know if they just might set up, might do that more tonight, but I mean, when it comes to this, one thing that comes out of this that I would hate to admit. Logan Paul was really good in this match. He really was. I mean, he was actually surprisingly. He's up there with, obviously, you got Pat McAfee. I'll talk about that match later on, obviously. But obviously, Pat McAfee's match against Adam Cole. Like, surprising how good he was, and obviously them War Games matches it was involved, really cool. But he looked fluent. He looked like he's usually when you have celebrities waiting for that moment where it just looks clunky, and none of it really looked clunky. I mean, he had a bit where. You had him do like a vertical suplex. Not a vertical suplex, but just like a scoop slam or like he was it like a running power slam that actually looked really good. I mean, he done like a blockbuster net breaker as well that looked surprisingly good as well. It looked fluent. I don't know if he's been practicing a lot or just he's just natural athlete. But yeah, it was really good. I mean, obviously I think the kind of two standouts of Logan Paul and Dominic kind of makes sense. Obviously, Dominic doing some awesome stuff. I think early on he did this kind of armbar scissor kick, head scissors combo, goes to the top, walks across the ropes. Maybe I don't know if that's a tribute to Ray or it's like a tribute to Undertaker. Cause I was thinking, wait, is he doing a schoolboy? The old school. I mean, that's the word. But yeah, I mean that was so that was cool. I mean, obviously you had the dives from the outside, that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean the big thing about this match was the thing where you got obviously Ray trying to do the Three Amigos, obviously a tribute to Eddie. We see a lot of those these days. A lot of that. So every time you do the Three Amigos or you go to the top and does a frog splash, always have that kind of tribute to Eddie Guerrero. But yeah, obviously we got a situation of trying to go for the Three Amigos, and Eddie, and what was it then? The Miz that kind of stopped them, the third one, and then sends Ray into the post, and then Paul tags in, and then he knocks down Ray, and then he kind of hits the vertical suplexes, does them really well, and my God, the fans were booing him. They were like, my God, this guy's a dick. And again, I give him that. Yeah, he does well there. I mean, you want someone to kick the arrogance of the man that come his first match in WWE and do, how dare he do the Three Amigos? How dare he goes to the top and does a frog splash of the legend that is Eddie Guerrero? It's like, how dare he bespeaks his name? It's good. I like it. It's basically cliche heel heat, and I don't think it could be a mixture of go away heat and actual your dick heat. But yeah, when obviously he did that and he went to the top and he done a bit of the Viva La Raza kind of like shake that Eddie Guerrero used to do before he went to the top, hit a frog splash that actually looked really good actually. Surprisingly was pretty good. Obviously got that for near full, but slowly Dominic kind of broke that up to stop that for near full. Then we at the end, Dominic hit the suicide dive on the Miz. Then obviously Ray hit the scissor kick to send Paul into the ropes, and then we did get a double 619 on Logan Paul, and then we go Ray hits and then we hit the Dominic hits the I think a frog splash, and then Ray hits a frog splash. Just about gets the was going for the pin. We thought that was the finish. That's what I thought it was the finish. And then obviously you got the Miz slamming like power bombing Dominic onto Ray to break up the pin. Then obviously Miz hits the skull crashing finale on Rey Mysterio. 1, 2, 3, and yeah, it's the Miz and Logan Paul to get the win, not the Mysterios that I thought was where it's going to go, but he didn't, and that's fine. I don't have any qualms about it, to be fair. I think that if it sets up a kind of Dominic kind of needs to do his own path type situation, I'm up for it. But yeah, Logan Paul, and obviously after that we had a celebration with Logan Paul and kind of the Miz celebrating their victory. And I think I didn't see it at the time, so I was kind of watching it as well as kind of maybe keeping notes or kind of keeping an eye what's going on other things. But yeah, I mean I like the way it's like he turned around in Venom like at Logan Paul and then hits a skull crushing finale on Logan Paul, and everyone, even I was like, wait, what's this setting up? So I'm assuming that's setting up a match. Probably that's the next big like feud. Obviously Sami Zayn and Johnny Knoxville's been Johnny Knoxville. It's kind of been that overlining kind of celebrity feud. Maybe this will be the next celebrity feud between The Miz and Logan Paul. That again, it is what it is. Can't even say it apparently. It's fine. I mean, but I think like the idea that just like, yeah, he done what we all wanted to do. He basically put down Logan Paul. So technically, if there was a feud between them, Miz wouldn't be the heel here. It would be the face, wouldn't it? We all want him to beat down Logan Paul because nobody likes Logan Paul. I don't think that's a controversial statement. No one likes the guy. But yeah, so yeah, very standard by the numbers tag team match. It's the kind of match you expect on kind of like Raw and SmackDown, TV match. Obviously with Logan Paul, it does elevate it to WrestleMania kind of status. But yeah, I mean Logan Paul is surprisingly good. He was actually really agile in this match. But yeah, I mean, wouldn't surprise me. I mean, he seems to be doing all the obviously the boxing and now wrestling. He's really good. I'll give him that. He looked good in this match. They did present him quite well. So I'm giving him the storylines I want to come out of this is Dominic gone by himself, figuring out his own path, and The Miz and Logan Paul feud. If they were smart, they would try and build it up to SummerSlam, and that could be the big feud of the summer type thing. If they were going to do that, I'm assuming that's what they do, because you can't be doing that in the next pay-per-view. I wouldn't personally do it. They have to let it build, let it manifest, because obviously you got the social media aspect of it that you can build. I mean, I give them, I've had Sami Zayn and Johnny Knoxville, they did build that quite nicely with the social media gate crashing stuff. Like across this feud is like similar to maybe what's the one? Jerry Lawler and I can't remember now. I can't remember, name's gone blank. But it's like it feels like it's all over the place, and it's got a bit of realism to it that I kind of like in my feuds sometimes. That they do doing well when the celebrities are given that. But The Miz and Logan Paul win. Surprising to all. Surprising to me. Got my predictions wrong, so. But awesome stuff there. So yes, now we get to next we're going to talk about the match that I think I was looking forward to the most. Just because if it's anything like the match he had last year for the SmackDown Championship, we're in for a treat. Obviously, next I'm going to talk about the WWE Women's Championship match between the champion, big time Becky Lynch, going against Bianca Belair. I was looking forward to this. So let's dive straight into that one. So let's go and talk about the match I'm looking forward to the most. Obviously, Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair for the Raw Women's Championship. Obviously, this is kind of a match that's been months in the making. Obviously, ever since Becky Lynch returned at SummerSlam last year and beat Bianca in 26 seconds, or just beat her in a couple of seconds. And a thing that pissed everyone off, including myself, and with the idea that they built up this Bianca Belair so well, and then to lose the belt in just to get a cheap moment and not to try and build up anything. But because of that, the way they've been going, it sets up a match that basically Bianca Belair, the feud is that basically she wants revenge, and she wants to get revenge for what Becky did to her all those months ago. So and obviously from WWE do this well as well. The promo packages leading up set out the story quite nicely, in the sense that basically reason Becky doesn't like Bianca is because she has done what Becky took years to do in a matter of a year. So it takes a short time, so she is better than her, and obviously Becky Lynch does not like that. But and you could sit there and say that from the entrances, this is what was the thing. Obviously we got big time Becky Lynch had this really cool kind of montage of kind of the old WWE opening title thing, but it's Becky Lynch calling it Big Time Bex. She comes down with a new hairstyle that looks really nice. I think short hair, looks really awesome. Coming down with new hair. Looking amazing, So coming down, I think she came down with I don't know what car it is. I think it's the match, the kind of cars you expect something like fighters to come out of. But that looked cool. It was good entrance. You think, okay, cool, good entrance. But then Bianca Belair's no. We're gonna have a better entrance. So obviously we got the Texas Southern University marching band coming out, playing Bianca Belair's theme. And then she came down, and it was one-upped Becky Lynch's kind of entrance, so that's the kind of thing. What Becky can do, Bianca Belair could do a lot better, with a lot more style. That kind of but a lot of stuff here. I mean, I kind of think I like the stuff at the beginning with the situation Becky was trying to basically, she wanted to get this match over and done as quickly as possible, because I think she kind of fears Bianca Belair with the stuff she tried to go for that manhandle slam that she won the match at WrestleMania SummerSlam last year. She tries to go for the manhandle slam. Bianca gets out of it. She tries to get the kiss of death, but then you got Bianca Belair holding on her hair, and then she tries to hit, but she does hit the manhandle slam for in the near fall for 2. A nice little close back and forth to start the match, but then obviously most of the match was basically Becky after this trying everything to just finish this match early, try and get it done, and obviously every time she did, she couldn't beat her. She even went to the top rope. She does go sometimes, but we did this weird thing where she did like a spinning, kind of like she spinned and then like a spinning kick from the top. I don't know if it was supposed to be like a plancha or something, but it didn't look. It looked like it was done on the fly because she literally kicked her straight in the face with Bianca Belair. It looked really. It looked like it sucked. But obviously we've got Becky obviously getting more in the match, more and more aggressive because she's just like she's frustrated. She wants to beat Bianca Belair. But and obviously we had this thing at the apron. Obviously, so more near the end of the match, we had a situation where Becky Lynch grabbing Bianca Belair's hair, pulling her onto the outside. Obviously, we had a situation with earlier on in the match on the steel steps, so there's only the bottom steel step. And obviously, we had a situation where Becky Lynch down slams her onto the bottom of the steel steps and goes back in the ring. And then we have Bianca Belair just getting in on the 10 count with the whole crowd, big pop there. And then after that, we get Becky Lynch trying to go for a pin attempt for 2. And Lynch wants to go for the Madhouse Slam in the corner. This is a cool finish. Try to get a Madhouse Slam in the corner. But somehow Bianca Belair uses the ropes to do a flip to get out of it. Then she hits out of nowhere, the kiss of death, KOD, gets the pin. 1, 2, 3. And we have a new Raw Women's Champion in Bianca Belair. And it's probably the best match of the night. I enjoy it. Obviously we'll get back to it when we talk about the whole show in night 1 and night 2, but I would say it's the best match of the entire weekend of WrestleMania anyway. I haven't watched the other matches. Obviously, I do have to point out I haven't watched Ring of Honor's Supercard yet, and I haven't watched Stand and Deliver yet. But if you go from WrestleMania night 1 2, I would say it's the best match. It had all the hallmarks of the kind of match that I enjoy WrestleManias for the last couple of years, where it's a blow off to a story beat, and not just a moment or just someone to have a match. This is it's like, I'm not saying Danny Bryan-esque, but the reason I love that WrestleMania the most is because of that. It's a blow off of a story beat. This is why I like this match more, because it's a blow off of a story beat. She finally got revenge on Becky Lynch for what she did to her all those months ago. So I'm loving it. Again, probably going to get a rematch because you got WrestleMania Backlash, so there's going to be a rematch for that title. Interesting to see what they do. But yeah, all I'm saying to it though, if now they've built up that now Bianca Belair is now the champion, don't mess this up again. Just build her up. You've got someone that's basically for 2 WrestleManias in a row consistently performing at the highest level. I mean, she's basically gone against 2 of the 4 horsewomen. And she's actually 3 if we go way back to her push last year against Bayley. She's basically gone against all of them. Except for Charlotte, that maybe that's I don't think she won against Charlotte yet, but she's gone against 3 of the 4 horsewomen, and she's consistently put out amazing performances. So I think for that shows that amazing she is. So just don't mess this up. You've done a good job, I'll give you that, to build up this match. It's the only match that felt like a match that felt the reason I like WrestleManias. Blow off the feuds. It's like a season finale for WWE. So obviously Becky, I would say it's keep her heel, or maybe push her to be a more in-between face. Because let's be honest, her work's been alright, I'll give her that. She's done a good job. I like the character work in that sense, but we love Becky Lynch. Just make her a face. Don't make the mistake that most people do. Don't do it because of stubbornness. Just do what's right. Make her a face. Maybe we can have a situation tonight and more. Obviously, this probably will date this video quite badly. So, but I've got a feeling that, maybe have a situation that she, because of that victory, Becky Lynch now respects her and doesn't, that kind of stuff. Maybe that's a way you can, kind of turn her face. But that's just me. But I still think this is the best. Maybe disagree, but I still think it's best match on the card so far. On night 1 anyway, the best match for night 1 is by far this match. So awesome stuff. So next, obviously, we're going to talk about the Seth Rollins. He finally got his WrestleMania match, but who is he facing? Obviously, that was the mystery. To find out. But obviously, we'll go and talk about it just quickly. So let's go next to talk about Seth Rollins' mystery opponent. Who is he facing at WrestleMania? Obviously, that's we kind of know, but that's we'll talk about it then. Let's go and talk about that match. So yes, let's now talk about Seth Rollins' mystery opponent. obviously, I don't want to. It's 2 days now, so there's no point doing the spoilers. It was the worst kept secret in all of professional wrestling. Obviously, it was Seth Rollins going against the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. He's made his return back to WWE, and I got to be honest, they produced him very well, very good here. Probably one of the best returns in a while. Like, literally, I was worried because obviously, like, we all were, because obviously we don't know the story of why Cody has left AEW. We kind of have rumours, speculation, a little bit of tit for tat, information here and there, but we don't really know. But I think for me, it's like, for Cody, when you hear the interview afterwards, if the guy's happy, I'm happy. We all kind of turned on him on AEW. Mainly, I don't think it was him personally. It was just his character was getting very, very stale, and he was kind of stuck in a kind of position that he kind of wrote himself into. And we kind of just wanted him to do something different, and his resistance to it made us boo him. I don't think it was anything personal against him. Well, not me anyway. I don't know, some people actually might be real personal. I've seen some really disgusting behaviour on, like, Cody, about Cody going to WWE. You can disagree with him going, and a lot of people are, like, kind of constructively, but there are some stuff of, like, betrayal and stuff like that. It's like, he hasn't done anything wrong. I mean, me personally, I think it's probably a good thing he left AEW, because at the moment he was kind of not doing anything. He probably hasn't had a good... I mean, that last match against Sami Guevara was brilliant, but he didn't do... He hasn't... I would say his best feud probably hasn't been since MJF, and I might be wrong. Maybe Aleister Black was alright, but yeah, it's just it didn't. It might have been a good thing he left, because obviously it wasn't working. And obviously WWE, I give them credit. They've obviously corked out the money for him. To basically, they presented him exactly like they did in AEW. The lights went out. Cody Rhodes' music. There's only one royal There's more than one royal family. And then obviously, what was it? You got Cody's old music. I can't remember off the top of my head. Kingdom. Kingdom played, and it had the graphics and everything. Like this, he was just like, if you took this and put it in AEW, it's exactly the same. There's not really them, but I think someone kind of pointed out that if you want to convince people to go from AEW to WWE back to it, you kind of got to prove that they're not going to. They've got to prove that basically your character is going to be the same, or you're going to be this. They're not going to butcher it. Like, it's different when you were part of the system, work you up. But so, per example, like Drew, they basically prove that you can go away, reinvent yourself, come back, and then they probably make you a big deal, and they kind of did. But it was awesome. I was happy. I think when I saw him in that WWE, I kind of was. All my thoughts and were kind of reservations were kind of gone. Obviously, this would change in the weeks and months to see what they actually do with him. But I honestly think they could, if they just. Cody Rhodes has been good in the ring, but he was never spectacular in the ring. He has 1 or 2 great matches now and then, but he's kind of solid in that. But what makes him great is his mic work. That's what was missing in AEW at first. He was one of the best people on the mic. So that's why I think it'll work here, because he's good on the mic. So, and I've seen some promos. He always puts emotion and realism to it. And if they give him that, then he's going to have a good run. If it's going to be good. It'll be interesting to see if it's full time. It's going to be Edge level. It's going to be like, it's going to be. Apparently the deal is he's with like it's kind of Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens, kind of good money. And they're obviously this shows in this they put him in a good spot. So I'm probably putting too much trust, because let's be honest, WWE's disappointed me so many times. But yeah, I guess with this I've kind of gone on more about that and kind of got the match. I'm happy for him. If it works out, if it makes him happy, I'm not gonna go be too hurt. And I think AEW are in a good place right now. They'll be okay with him. They're okay with it. It's not like he's just like the major star has left, but it's not like they're leaving him in the lurch. He's kind of been in the lurch for the last couple of months to a year. So AEW doing okay. WWE, Cody can be okay. He hasn't badmouthed the company that I know of. Everyone's happy, so I'm going to be happy too. So, but yeah, let's talk about this match. Obviously, we had this bit right at the start with obviously him doing the Stardust cartwheel. with a hand gesture and then saying no more, kind of like a slap in the face saying, yep, I'm coming back, but I'm going to be myself. I'm not going to be that Stardust. I guess he made that very, I wouldn't surprise if there's a clause in his contract saying, I'm like, never be Stardust ever again. And if I am, I made a choice. I kind of like, if that is true. But yeah, a lot of this stuff was based down a match. You got Seth working on Cody's ribs and lower back, and obviously got Cody working on Seth's arm. We had a bit with what was it? We had kind of midway through the match, we had obviously Rollins trying to tin attempt, and then we got Cody go out of it and hit the crossroads, but for the 1-2, but no, it's WrestleMania, so you know what that means. Someone's going to kick out their finishers. It's kind of expected in the WrestleMania, so kicked out. I was a bit like, oh no, they're not going to. Oh no, they're not going to do that thing where it's like he doesn't win. He comes back and he loses, and then it goes, yeah, well, shouldn't have left, shouldn't you? I mean, you had that thing with Seth Rollins kind of coming out saying, welcome back to the big leagues. It's kind of a stick it to you type thing. You know, it's Seth Rollins, he's fine. it's supposed to be easy heel. But yeah, obviously, then we got that kind of stuff. We got a nice little reverse kind of suplex off the top rope. Rollins for a 2. Obviously, we got a nice Phoenix. We obviously got a Phoenix splash. What was it when we had one who's got top trying to hit a Phoenix splash? Cody avoided it, and then Cody teases the pedigree. But we got what was it? Rollins got out of it. Then obviously, and then after that we had this really cool Cody cutter from the top. That I do think should be one of his finishes, because a move that spectacular should be a finish, right? But that's just me. But we had that. He kicked out of that. We had like a nice little double unhooked powerbomb by Cody before that. But the kind of match kind of ended with obviously Cody hitting a Cody crossroads, and then he gets keeps a hold of him, hits a second one and then he gets him up, and it's like a homage to his father Dusty Rhodes, does the punches and then the bionic elbow, then gets him up, hits another crossroads. 1, 2, 3, and on his return to WWE, he has a victory over Seth Rollins on his debut at about his match back at WrestleMania. So, yeah, it's a great. I think I was really happy with it. A lot of people saying this match tonight. I think it's the moment of the night. Maybe I think one of the moments, because Cody coming back is a huge deal, but I'm okay with it. But I think as a match, it's really solid. It's very showcased how good Cody is, shows how good Seth is. I mean, if you rate him in the ring, putting them against each other, smart move. Because if anyone can make anyone look good, it's Seth. And obviously Cody is like a very different wrestler than the guy that left many years ago. He's really made himself a star. So hopefully they do that. They book him. Wouldn't surprise me if he has a few. He wins the title at some point. He needs to win that WWE Championship. There's a story there that rumors around that's the reason he came. One of the reasons he came back is he feel like it unfinished business at WWE, and he wants to win the title. I think he looks like a star. They made him look like a star, and I love it. Just don't mess. I mean, you know, I'm going to stop saying don't mess this up. They will, in some way that I won't like, but I hope they don't. I think they've got a legit moneymaker here, and I think they should just book him well. So yeah, obviously Cody Rhodes gets the win, big return. It was the worst case secret in all of pro wrestling. I mean when the lights gone down, it's ironic that's in these actually lyrics. But I thought, you know, because the rumours gone around that Bray Wyatt was in the area of LA, and was thinking, oh, they could do that just to really swerve us. Could they do that swerve? But they were smart. It was Cody. It was cool. But yeah, he gets the win. WrestleMania. It'll be interesting to see, obviously tonight, what he does. Like, what's he's going to be. It's going to be a huge moment when he steps in WWE for the first time in 7-8 years. So it's going to be it's now 6 years. No, it's 6 years. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what he do. So yeah, so Seth Rollins is on the losing end. Obviously he's not going to be happy with that, and obviously Cody Rhodes is back. He's back in WWE. So interesting to see what he does. So obviously now we go on to we'll next talk about the probably would have been the main event, probably if it wasn't for obviously what was the main event. Obviously we'll talk about that later on, but yeah, obviously that's gone quickly. Let's go and talk about the WWE SmackDown Women's Championship match with Charlotte Flair going against Ronda Rousey. So yeah, let's get talking about that. So yes, and then next we talk about the you could say I would say it probably was going to be in the main event. Obviously, we're talking about WWE SmackDown Women's Championship match with Charlotte Flair defending her title against this year's Royal Rumble winner in Ronda Rousey. I think this feud was a weird one because obviously I wasn't really pumped for like Ronda Rousey coming back. Nothing against Ronda Rousey, but I think the mystique has worn off very quickly with her, and I think they needed to go back to basics with her and just go. What made her cool was she's no nonsense. She doesn't speak and beats the crap out of people. For example, she needs a mouthpiece. Just saying. But yeah, I mean this feud. I think they're trying to put across is basically like Charlotte Flair's going, you're just a one-trick pony. Only thing you can do is that armbar, and I think I like the idea that Ronda Rousey is kind of proving it. No, I know multiple submission moves, multiple ways of beating you. So, but yeah, I mean that's kind of the build-up here. But the kind of match, it was fine. I think it was very good. It was a solid, good match. Obviously, you had a lot of stuff where a lot of the time it was Ronda Rousey trying to go and hit that lock and the armbar, but obviously we had I think a nice little counter into an ankle lock later early on. I like obviously before I actually say I did see that there was videos they posted on our social media with training with Shayna Baszler, kind of training to figure out moves, how to get out of like the figure 4 leg lock, the figure 8, and obviously the transition into the ankle lock as well. That ironically was both in this match. That was really cool. But yeah, I think everything was good. But I think the problem with this one, I wasn't really invested really, and it's nothing against two performers, but the story wasn't there. It's like the match, Bianca Belair and Becky Lynch, I was just more invested in. And I think that sometimes is important with this match. But I mean, it was still good in that sense. It was still a good match. It was too solid, it's consistent. Ronda Rousey looked good as well. But this kind of the finish was an interesting one. Obviously, we had I think a thing that happened outside, but obviously the Flair and Ronda were trying to call back into the ring for the 10 count. Then obviously back into the ring. But then obviously the finish with the idea that we got Flair went for the kick. Then Ronda caught her, and then she hit that Piper's Pit slam that I don't think it's the best finisher, but trying to hit that. But I like the idea that obviously I think was it Charlotte Flair put her foot on the bottom rope, but the ref saw it. Like normally he did count the 3 count, but he did see it. So it's very unusual for a ref to actually clock that, unless that was a mistake. But I like the idea that he saw it, he counted the 3, but it's not like it went to the bell, controversy. He just went, nope, foot on the rope. Got to respect that from Charles Robinson. Ironically, is Little Nate, so that's, you take that with a pinch of salt. But obviously you got this Ronda kind of complaining about that. She had no complaints because her foot was on the rope before the 3, so but it's typical wrestling logic. Then obviously Flair hit a natural selection on Ronda Rousey for a 2. Then we obviously got Flair hit the figure 8 leg lock where it was able to kick out. Was kick out when obviously kick Flair, and she tackled, but while she was doing that she tackled the ref, Charles Robinson, into the rope. So the ref is down, bumped at the ropes. Obviously then Ronda locks in the armbar. Obviously Flair's tapping, but no ref. No one saw it. Then obviously then Ronda goes back. Ronda goes for Flair back up, but then obviously we trying to get the ref back up basically. And then obviously Flair hits a running boot straight to the face of Ronda Rousey. Gets the win, and surprisingly gets the win. Beats Ronda Rousey. So yeah, I mean, it was a weird finish. I mean, if I've got to be honest, when I think about it, if that was the finish of WrestleMania, I would be like, oh, that's a bit anticlimactic. But yeah, I mean, it's fine. I mean, I'm not against it because I think Ronda Rousey's like, is she staying long enough? What is her deal? Like, is she staying full? Has she got a Brock contract? Is she staying full time? I wouldn't say she'd be staying full time, just because it's Ronda. And also she's got kids, so she's obviously got that to factor in now. She can't be going on the road all the time. But yeah, it's interesting. But I mean, with Flair, the problem is at the moment, like, if it's not Ronda, who's going to take that title off her? I mean, the only one that makes sense is Sasha, because obviously that's the big match. But not a lot of contenders there. That's a bit disappointing. I mean, I would probably put Shayna Baszler, but I think she's on Raw. I think she's on SmackDown as well. So it'd be interesting. There's a story there. Maybe you can do a situation where, yeah, you beat my friend Ronda in a cheating, so like, I'm gonna take you out, and then set that up that maybe that she's the next opponent. Then when Ronda comes back, yeah, let's do that. I mean, it could work. I just wanted to see Shayna Baszler be built as like this submission killing machine. just me, but I just want to see that. So, but yeah, interesting finish. Interesting to see where it goes. But yeah, Charlotte, still your SmackDown Women's Champion. So I'm interested to see what they do on SmackDown, where that leads to storyline wise. But yeah, when I think of the finish, it probably was a good idea this wasn't the main event, because obviously the main event is kind of the big thing that they've been pushing. Very hesitant of was obviously the kind of KO show featuring Stone Cold Steve Austin in Texas. So yeah, but obviously there was more to that than just, it wasn't just the show. So, but we'll talk about that now. So that's yeah, let's go on to talk about the main event with Stone Cold Steve Austin and Kevin Owens in that KO slash, let's be honest, slash match segment. So let's go on, talk about it. So yes, we're here in the main event. We don't end with a match. At first, it was supposed to be we end with a TV segment, a talk show segment. Obviously, this has been set up with obviously last couple of weeks with KO talking trash about the state of Texas, that kind of and calling out Stone Cold Steve Austin. But it's never a good idea, because obviously Stone Cold Steve Austin is Stone Cold Steve Austin, whatever age he is. He can still hit a stunner on you. But yeah, obviously KO comes out. He's very happy with himself at this point. But yeah, I mean, let's talk about it like this. When I heard the rumours, my first hesitation was, I'm not up for it. Because again, Stone Cold Steve Austin doesn't have to come back for a match. He doesn't. Stone Cold Steve, what we love about Stone Cold Steve Austin is his in-ring ability is quite good, and he can have great matches, but what makes him cool, what made us love him, was the segments. The kind of every time he can hit, basically stunning the hell out of people. And if you can get to him to do that, everyone's going to go home happy. But I was a bit hesitant. I thought this was just going to be a situation where it was just a segment. He tries to attack him back and forth, hits the stunner, a couple of beers, everyone's got to go home happy. But you kind of did get that, but it took a long way to get there. But yeah, obviously we got there. Obviously we started this segment, obviously the way it laid it up to it. We had the situation, obviously Stone Cold comes out after KO, which is basically, I have to apologise for the rotten things I said about Texas Stone Cold Steve Austin. I mean, I have to apologise for telling the god awful truth about this state, and it's like, oh, okay, KO. You know, he just wants to, he's literally asking for an ass whooping. He really is. Then Stone Cold comes out, comes out, you know, crowd pops, because obviously it's Austin. Breaks? Thing breaks. He comes out. Comes down to the ring, obviously then kind of does the whole Stone Cold thing like that. Then obviously he goes to the back, gets the SUV, comes down with that. You got to do it. It's Austin. He comes down. That's awesome. Then we have a back and forth for basically Owens talking crap, saying okay, Austin is the worst model in WWE history. Look up to you. Austin's like showing no respect. So no respect to Austin here. A lot of stuff is like and KO's like Stone Cold Steve Austin's like saying you're basically talking yourself into an ass whooping type thing. I'm paraphrasing there, but the whole thing is basically a lot of that kind of stuff. But what I like, it leads into the thing that we're going to talk about in a minute. Is obviously it's not just a segment. It's not like the end of WrestleMania, but it's KO kind of going. I've got to put this line that's kind of funny. It's like, I'm more, he's a sophisticated, distinguished French Canadian. So it's kind of the universal truth that, like, yeah, people in Canada is better than anyone in Texas, you know. A lot of good lines here. I'm not going to paraphrase everything he said, but yeah, it's kind of set up that KO's like, he tricked Austin. He tricked him. He's not here to talk to Austin. He wants to fight. You know, the fan cheers, obviously, in Austin, kind of like a match. We know that 19 years, your last match, and obviously your ribs are hurt, your knees are done, but bad neck and everything. But obviously, Austin challenges him in a no holds bar match right now. And obviously, we had a thing with Austin kind of teasing it, and then you got Austin coming out saying, "I had my first match in Dallas, Texas. Could I have my last match right here in Dallas, Texas?" And then kind of says smack shit, and then kind of says hell yeah, and then get the F out here. And yeah, everyone was cheering at this point. Austin versus KO in a no-holds-bar match to end night one. And, yeah, I mean, nothing crazy in the match itself. It was a brawl, so it kind of worked for the brawler nature of Austin. A lot of back-and-forth punches. I think at some point they went into the crowd. Austin trying was it that kind of stuff. I think Austin got like a suplex on the stage. For a guy at his age, probably did hurt. But, yeah, we had a situation where KO hit his stunner on him. And obviously you get for a near fall. But yeah, obviously you expect nothing less. Obviously Owen brings in the chair. Try to swing it at Austin. Austin ducks. And then the chair hits the ropes. And he basically swings it, misses it. Bounces the chair straight in his face. Austin hits him to the gut. Stone Cold Stunner. 1, 2, 3. He gets the win. And yeah, and obviously as always gets the beers, drinks the beers. I think he's stunned. I think he stunned Brian Saxton. Saxton, yes. Stunner people, drinking beer. Yep, we end WrestleMania night one with Stone Cold Steve Austin on top. Yeah, again, I've probably paraphrased that very poorly. Basically, it's one of those moments that at first I was hesitant, but again, no holds barred stipulation worked well, and KO did a very good job to try and sell it. To make him look like he was $1 million, because he did look quite good. Austin's kind of style has always been a brawler, so that's kind of why he's very good, of course. Like it's basically old school wrestling, very brawl, very fighting, kicks, that kind of stuff, proper old school. You're not going to be him doing you're not going to see Austin doing cold weds or doing that kind of stuff. It's always been about the kind of hard nose. That's why he's called Stone Cold Steve Austin. So I think that's for that nature kind of serves him well in a match like this. So that's why I think it wasn't exactly amazing, but it was good. It was better than I was expecting. I don't think I've watched this and gone, he's tarnished Austin's legacy in any way. It's not like when you've done like Goldberg comes back, or no offense to The Undertaker, his later matches where it's like he comes back when you think he should have retired already. He shouldn't be wrestling. But Austin here, it's just like it works for him because obviously his style really protects him here. And yeah, so and we all got first night all go home happy. We're seeing someone getting stunned, Austin drinking beer, and yeah, especially in the state of Texas, everyone's happy. So yeah, I don't know what more to say to it. Obviously, with as I said, we're going to talk about the show as a whole at the end of this video. But we're going to talk about obviously now we're going to go into night 2, because obviously the old saying goes, it's the second night always better than the first. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. But we'll find out next. So, but yeah, I mean, I will talk about the whole show. But my initial thoughts is that I did enjoy night 1 more than night 2. But I'll go into that more when we get to the end of this video. But yes, that's obviously let's not beat around the bush. Let's go into night 2 and talk about with kicking off with the Triple H, the Cerebral Assassin, comes to the ring to start off WrestleMania night 2. So yeah, normally I wouldn't talk about like little small segments because this usually is on before. This usually on before they do like the main card, and then you usually talk about the main show. But yeah, I mean, I just thought it was very prevalent and important to talk about. Obviously, we started off WrestleMania 28 night 2 with the Game Triple H coming down to the ring. Everyone was happy because obviously the guy's come back from having a heart attack, and the guy's just announced he's retired from wrestling ring as a wrestler. It's really sad because obviously Triple H, we love Triple H. So, and the guy's gone through a lot, especially with a lot of backstage and as personal life as well. A lot of stuff's happened to that guy. It's really sad. But yeah, nothing crazy here in a sense. He comes to the ring, kind of literally keeps it simple. He says he just wanted to come out and say thank you and show his love the best way he knows how by welcoming us to WrestleMania. So I like it because yeah, the guy's feeling being a lot of crap with kind of recently. He's gone through a lot of health conditions, and the idea that we'll show a lot of the wrestling community did show a lot of love and support, because obviously we might disagree sometimes with his booking decisions, but it is Triple H, and yeah. We want him to be okay, so I'm glad to see he's alright. He looks really healthy as well, really good. So it looks like maybe time will be good for him. But yeah, so just thought I'd start off talk about that. Normally I wouldn't, but it's Triple H. Got to talk about Triple H, right? So yeah, that's talk about the first match of the night. It's obviously night one. We talked about the SmackDown Tag Team Championships kicking off the show. So what a shocker! That guess what kicked off night two. Yes, you are correct. The triple threat match for the World Tag Team Championships kicked off. So yes, let's talk about that match. So yeah, so the first match of night 2 of WrestleMania, obviously 38, was like it started night 1, with obviously a tag team championship match. Obviously night 1 we had the Usos defending their titles, but obviously now opening of this show, the RK Bros are defending their titles in a triple threat match, going against the Street Profits and Alpha Academy. That obviously is Chad Gable and Otis. Yes, interesting feud. Obviously, we must point out that obviously the Alpha Academy did win the World Tag Team Championships a couple of weeks prior, and obviously then the ironically in the same kind of match, RK Bro won it back a couple of weeks later. But yeah, not much to go about this match. You kind of like it's a weird one here because obviously I think the Alpha Academy does cool stuff. Street Profits have kind of been having a little bit of a feud, and then focusing their attention on RK Bros. But I think it's probably more of a tag team division match. It seems like the Raw Tag Division is better than maybe SmackDown's, just because it seems like it has one. So you kind of like that. But yeah, I mean, when it comes to this match, going in, it's kind of a situation of there was a little bit of talk. I don't know if this whole thing is someone turning on someone. Again, maybe it's not happening Raw. Maybe it might happen in Raw. It might not happen here because you know the Raw after WrestleMania is usually the big one, right? So maybe that might be. But I don't know. Maybe. It might be. So going this match, it wasn't really had high expectations, but it was what it is. But yeah, I mean, when it comes to the match, it was solid. It was a decent tag match. It wasn't anything crazy. I mean, obviously I say that. You had obviously Montez Ford doing that. I don't know how he does it. But he does that dive over the top, obviously the ring post and onto I think other teams down below, obviously. But that was kind of the big thing. But kind of there's nothing special that we haven't seen before from like RK Bros, kind of, because they've kind of just like, okay, most of the time it's just Riddle kind of he's had his moment to shine, and he gets beaten down a lot, then obviously he gets hot tag Randy, and then Randy just does his thing, and then out of nowhere we get some sort of RKO out of nowhere, or some sort of cool RKO. Because let's be honest, he's at that twilight of his career where, yeah, RKO out of nowhere, it's kind of his thing. So, yeah, so obviously that's kind of what happened here. Obviously, we got right at the end, we obviously had a bit with, what was it? We had a massive outside. Obviously, we had, I think it was, Ford went to the top, but then we got Riddle hitting like a springboard top rope RKO off the top rope. That looked really cool. Yeah, I mean, we had a lot, obviously, with them, you always get pairings of like Riddle doing Orton's moves and Orton's doing Riddle's moves. But yeah, he had that, so he had a big one with Ford. But then obviously you got, near the end, obviously you got, Chad Gable going to the top, trying to do a diving splash. But when he was trying to do it, he was caught mid-air with an RKO out of nowhere by Randy Orton. Gets the pin, 1, 2, 3. And yeah, and they are still Raw Tag Team Champions. Again, no surprise. It could have gone either way. They've already done the title change, so then put them back on, then lose them again. It's kind of like, if they were going to do it, wouldn't it make sense to do a situation where Alpha Academy wins it, lose it back to RK Bros, RK Bros lose it to Street Profits, and then it's like a top title with a tag team titles. I'm not against it. It makes it interesting. I'm happy with it. But yeah, obviously after that we had the Street Profits kind of coming out with the red cups, kind of with RK Bros kind of celebrating their victory. Then obviously, yes, we should have pointed out in the night one portion of this review that obviously Gail Stevens, yeah, I don't know what they've called it. They called it differently on the commentary team. I don't know if I'm saying it wrong, but yeah, obviously Stephanie McMahon came out to announce him. Obviously, I think he's won the division wrestling title and he's an Olympic gold medalist. So funny thing is, actually, that's better than what Brock ever did. So that maybe that means they've got big plans for him. But they feasted him twice on both nights, just by one show, and then the other one in this one in the segment. Obviously, he was invited in the ring. Obviously, like the idea that Gail Stevens like, I'm allowed, right? I'm going to get escorted off the building. Yeah. So he came in, obviously, and then we were just about to have like a toast, with Stu Profits and RK Bro, and then obviously Chad Gable slaps the cup out of his hand And then obviously when that happens, he's not happy. He takes his shirt off and stuff, like he's ready to fight. And everyone outside the ring just gets out and they're looking on, going, "Yeah, mate, you're gonna get your ass handed to." And he kind of does. He obviously got was it Chad Gable going up to him, going, one thing you got to learn when you talk to me, you go, shh. I don't know what the gimmick is. I think it's a shush. I don't know. I'm sorry, I don't know. but yeah, and obviously in Chad Gable, tried to attack, tries to go after Gareth Stevens, but he hits an overhead belly to belly. It looks really good, really nice. If there's any if he can at least get to the kind of beautiful suplexes that Kurt Angle did when he debuted, then this guy's got a future. Got big plans for him. If they're featuring him more now in WrestleMania, it means that his debut and probably in-ring debuts even next, that it's happening now, or it's happening soon. So obviously he gets the win, and they all finally get the cut. They finally have their drink, and a nice little WrestleMania moment there. But good start to the show. I think this probably was a bit better just because the thing that happened to the opening of WrestleMania with the injury kind of dampened at the start. This is more what you would do, like 3 great tag teams know what they're doing, put them in a match, let them do their stuff, and it's good. Nothing really more to say to it than that, to be fair. But it's I like it. With Gareth Stevens, I'm interested to see what they do with him. Are they going to put him as the Kurt Angle Olympic kind of thing, or are they going to put him as like amateur badass? And if his first feud is against Chad Gable, that's got the hallmarks of maybe a very technical masterclass there. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. So so obviously next we talk about a match I don't think anyone was terribly hyped for. Maybe I wasn't. Obviously let's go and talk about the Bobby Lashley versus Omos match. So next we talk about the match between Bobby Lashley, the almighty Bobby Lashley, going against Omos in a match that's kind of set up very simply, with obviously Omos being like booked as like a monster. No one can stop him. Only person that can stop him is the Almighty. Obviously, he's come back from it's like his big return. Obviously, coming back from his concussion he suffered at the Elimination Chamber. That obviously was really awesome. That's a terrible word. Awful is the word I'm looking for. That's just sucked. What happened to him? But he's back, and they put him against Omos. It's fine. Omos isn't great in the ring. He's not. He's a bit clunky, and it kind of showed in this match. I've got to be honest. But I think he's good. I think from what I've heard, he's good on the mic. He's good, but it's just his in-ring ability is just not. It's not there yet. It's not there yet. And I think again, if you put him against someone, I think the perfect example of this, if you put him against someone that's similar size or similar built, it's not going to be the most fluent match. If you put him against someone like Ricochet or someone that's a high flyer, it would work. Like, it should work anyway, because if you put him against it, he could just do the thing where he chucks him around and he can sell the hell out of that to make him look like a badass. But the only downside to that is when he has the big matches, what are you going to do? So he needs a lot of work almost, if they've plans to do anything with him. They've put him in a single match at WrestleMania, so I think they've got big plans for him. It's pretty obvious, to be fair. But I'm going to be fair. It's not a great match. It was clunky. Bobby trying everything to make Omos look like a badass, like chucking him around. I think he was like trying to lock in the hurt lock, and he was like stretched out of it like it's nothing. Tried everything, but some of the stuff, it just looked awkward. It was an awkward match. It felt awkward. But the kind of match, how it ended, we kind of had almost locking in the bear hug and then slam. Then obviously he's slamming him into the corner, and then obviously Bobby was slamming in the corner. Where basically, I think, was he slammed him into the corner, where it's like he went over and he hit his head. Obviously, guy with concussion, not the best thing. Hits his head on like the corner of the post. That it looked nasty. It didn't look nice. Then obviously at top of the tongue, what I said here, and then obviously fight back, and then we had a situation of ended with Bobby Lashley able to hit a suplex on this massive behemoth that is Omos. Able to hit that, then get him off his feet, and then obviously Lashley hit he hit one spear, and then he hit another spear. I think hit the spear onto the back, and then hit the spear on the front to get the win. So nothing here too noteworthy. It's good to see Bobby Lashley back again. It's similar to Drew. They've given Drew and Bobby Lashley similar kind of matches where they're not the feud you want, but if it builds them up, maybe a situation that they've got big plans for Bobby and Drew. Because I would like to see Bobby Lashley as a face with MVP when he comes back. works because basically there's no difference between them. Both badasses. So, like, heel, badass on the faces, face, badasses on the heel. Don't have to talk, just all the guy has to do is basically just be a badass. And it works. I think they've got a formula and they need to do something with it. I'm still thinking they shouldn't have broken up the Hurt business, but that's just me. Nothing more to really talk about this match. There's nothing really crazy here, is it? Almost, I don't know what they'll do. I mean, I think, I don't know. He's going to be a bit lost in the shuffle, I think. He feels like it. I don't know what, unless they've got big plans for him, maybe go after that US title. Obviously, him against Finn Balor, maybe. It seems like a thing they would do against Finn. Put him against someone that's bigger than him. It feels like a type of thing they would do, because that's what they do, but, I mean, if you're going to be harsh, like, you're not putting Finn Balor in a match. I mean, you could have put, nothing to Bobby Lashley, but you could have waited to do after WrestleMania and then put Finn against this guy. Get the win. Maybe. It's an idea. It's fine. But, I don't know more to say. Just one, not a great match, but not every match is going to be great. But, if you're going to talk about a match that's probably, I'm not going to say great, but really fun, the next match is definitely in that category. Obviously, we're going to talk about the Anything Goes match with Sami Zayn going against Johnny Knoxville. That's, very fun match. So, let's get diving in talking about that match. So now we talk about the kind of the second of the celebrity matches that we had, obviously, over these 2 nights. Obviously, we had Logan Paul, obviously, in night 1. Now we've got night 2. Obviously, we've got Johnny Knoxville going against Sami Zayn. That, going in, they've done a promo package that actually puts it across very nicely. This is how you do this is how you kind of build a comedy feud. And this is how you do it from a celebrity feud. You know, they come into your world, you go into theirs. I did like the thing where basically Johnny Knoxville gave Sami Zayn's number, and then he kept getting so many texts that, he couldn't get any sleep, or he was relentless. Obviously, you've got Sami Zayn crashing the Jackass new film kind of premiere. That's kind of cool. Listen, I want to be honest. I didn't watch the feud because obviously I don't watch Raw or SmackDown. I don't watch SmackDown, but like, I think it's a good feud. I think it's like Sami Zayn's over the topness versus Johnny Knoxville's kind of comedic chops and kind of like craziness. Kind of, it just works well, and obviously Sami Zayn really selling it. I mean, I think one of the best ones from the promos I saw was where trying to be like, I could do anything better than I'm better than Johnny Knoxville, and then the bit with the cattle prod, and it's like, oh yeah, the funny thing about these things, I know when to turn them on. Boom, and he slaps him, and he goes on the floor and fight. I love that. I actually really enjoyed this match. I think it was this going into this. I had no expectations, but if you look at it from what it is, what was it supposed to be? It's supposed to be a match where it's going to be a no holds barred. It's going to be weapons are going to be involved, so you can get away with a lot of stuff. And obviously, when you got celebrity, that's good things. That means you can make them look good by having weapons and shenanigans, and obviously the wrestler's going to make them look like $1 million. Because you're not going to make a celebrity look bad on the grand stage of the modern WrestleMania. But yeah, it was really fun. You had all kinds of stuff here. You had it's really go into the match. Really going to be more. You got stuff like you got Sami Zayn early on going at the bottom of the ring, got on the apron, trying to go underneath the ring, and then obviously trapped his hand like kind of that, and then he realised that someone's put a table with mouse traps on there. Again, that was tying to the finish later. Had that, and obviously we got set up the mousetrap table. Obviously, we all know wrestling. If you set that up, someone's gone through it. I can give you a clue who did. And obviously, then we had a bit with another table to set up, and then Sami Zayn hit an exploder on suplex on him through that table. Took it like a champ. Obviously, we got obviously his buddies from Jackass came in. Obviously, can't pronounce his name, but like Party Boy, basically the guy that I don't know what this is. Jackass is it's a strange creature. It's very strange. So like obviously the guy like takes his partying. Obviously Sami Zayn's like all of us were like, what the hell is this? And obviously this gave Knoxville time to recover, and then obviously tossed him in the outside, and then Sami Zayn was outside, and we got Wee Man's back. That was really fun. He was underneath the ring. I think he's been talking to Hornswoggle, always hiding underneath the ring. It's kind of the best place to hide. And he attacks him. We even got a thing where he hit a scoop slam Like, and it looked really cool. Like, a guy that small hitting that is just so cool. It's so cool. And then obviously we had that enough distraction for Knoxville to hit the tornado DDT for a near fall. Then obviously we got stuff where we had all kinds of funny shenanigans here. We had Sami Zayn going on to the top, and just right could hit a move from the top, and obviously out of nowhere you got Knoxville raising his hand, pressing the button, and obviously that controls some pyrotechnics on the thing, and that distracted Sami Zayn to go and fall off the top rope. Then obviously Knoxville went and got a bowling ball, and done as you expect. Sami Zayn was in the kind of bottom corner like that, set up nicely for him to roll the ball straight into the obviously Michael Cole couldn't say it into his balls, basically. He's dick and balls. Damn, that would hurt. If you ever down in real life, it literally would just, he's down below, should be destroyed. But obviously done that. That was awesome. Then he got underneath. He got this weird thing, like basically like a distraction, where it's basically like another kick to, like you set him up and he's supposed to kick you in the groin. It was kind of set up. Obviously, then Knoxville got a taser, trying to attack him. Obviously, we know tasers are very lethal things in real life and in wrestling. Trying to get away from him, and this was the best moment. This was the best moment when he's like, always found this funny when I was going out watching Jackass, and this is why it's funny now. He's running away, trying to get away from it. I know, and then boom, the giant hand. It's like that's from like Jackass 1 or 2, like, you know, hit him with the grand hand. That what I love about it is like, how did no one ever notice it as a giant hand contraption? And someone also pointed out that who activated it? Like, who activated it? It's like it just came out of nowhere. It's stupid logic, but I love it. Then obviously after that, then a kind of ton of shenanigans we had. Obviously Sami Zayn going to the top, and obviously you got Knoxville picking up some pliers and then locking them on a pair of tongues, launch, and holding him on Sami Zayn's balls, chucking him. He goes to that table with the mouse traps. Ouch, that's got to hurt. And then the kind of giant. Then we got the giant Jackass crew getting this massive mouse trap, set it up, and then kind of Sami Zayn put him in position. I think they had a problem where it didn't work at first, so you had to fix it, but they fixed it. Mouse trap hit Sami Zayn. Knoxville goes for the pin, 1, 2, 3, and obviously celebrity wins. Knoxville wins the match, and it's a very, very entertaining match. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was very good for comedy. I think a lot of people said this is how it should be done. It's just fun. This is fun. We all get into the kind of seriousness of wrestling sometimes, of like, you know, pushes and booking, but we always realise sometimes that it's supposed to be silly. And this is a example that it's very silly, and it's a very silly match. But it was rather entertaining. I loved it. I think it's I obviously prefer this than the obviously other celebrity match. But yeah, Knoxville's looking good, man. I mean, could it set up a rematch? Because is this the end of Sami Zayn going after Knoxville? But it's usually the end at WrestleMania. But yeah, I mean, Sami Zayn, perfect, obviously KO later on. It's like, just shows that they're just great performers, man. They can make anything work, and Sami Zayn made this work, and it's amazing. So I'm loving it. So yeah, great match, really fun. I enjoyed it, and I think a lot of people would have too. So so obviously now we'll talk about that. Now we're going to go a bit more serious in a sense. We're going to talk about the Fatal 4-Way match for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. Obviously we had with so obviously 3, 6, what was it, 2, 4, 6, 8 very, very competent wrestlers in there. So it should be an interesting match. So yeah, let's quickly go and talk about that match. So yes, let's talk about the Fatal 4-Way match for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. Obviously, we had the champs Queen, Zelina, and Carmella going against the newly formed teams. Because obviously, the Women's Tag Team division doesn't really have established tag teams, so you have to put a lot of singles wrestlers together. But again, if you're going to put some together, why not choose these 6 women to put them together? Obviously, Sasha Banks and Naomi are a team. You've got Rhea Ripley and Liz Morgan. Obviously, one dressing up, I think, as Batman and Catwoman. Obviously, it's not the first thing I was thinking of, but it's kind of what they implied on the commentary. And obviously Natalia and Shayna Baszler teaming up. So yeah, I mean, a combination of a lot of really consistent good wrestlers here. So it set up to be a pretty interesting match, and it was good in a sense. Again, it's nothing really crazy. I think it did feel clunky at times because obviously sometimes these matches, turning people in there, it's going to feel a bit clunky. There's nothing really crazy here. Obviously, I kind of went into kind of thinking, okay, Liz Morgan needs a good moment. Rhea Ripley needs a good moment. Why not let them have the tag titles? Because I don't think Queen Zelina and Carmella are coming out with those titles. Let's be honest, they're not. But, I mean, the only thing about that is, calm down, Corey, mate. Calm down. I mean, I get it's your fiance, but you got to calm down now. I know you got a reality show, but calm down. We get it. She's amazing. But, yeah, I mean, there's not much more to say. It's really... It was consistent, solid. It's probably a good little match to put... a good match to put in between the match, obviously, this before the big match, obviously, against Edge and AJ Styles. But, yeah, this kind of match ended with, obviously, Banks getting a tag, connecting top rope splash for a 2. Then, obviously, Banks goes for the bank statements, but Dina pushes Carmella, basically breaks it up. Then we kind of action returns, and it kind of ends with kind of Naomi and Sasha Banks hitting some sort of sit out facebuster cold breaker combo. Looked really cool. Covers Carmella, gets the win, gets the free count, and yeah, we have new WWE Women's Tag Team champions. I think Sasha Banks and Naomi, I think they put it across very nicely that they're former Team Bad teammates. So it's not like it's unusual to do it. So I don't know. It's really it's good. I think if it was consistently, it was solid, and it was a solid match. And sometimes you need that at WrestleMania. Not everyone's got to be a banger. So yeah, obviously Sasha, I don't know what she's doing, but I like the idea that she's got tag team gold again. So maybe they can help with her having the titles. You can maybe push it. Naomi's doing something that's good, because obviously she had that thing with Sonya Deville. I don't know if that's the feud stopped or it's just been changed. I don't know. I think that stopped. But yeah, good stuff here. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if the next champions were representing Liz Morgan, because I think from this showing, there's potential there for a good team. So I would say they're the next champs or next challengers. So, and I won't be against that. It won't be good for you. It's good to see doing something in the tag division. Like the problem with the women's tag team division, it's always been hyped by there's not enough teams and not enough women's wrestlers to actually make it into a competitive division. If they want to do this, do it. I'm happy with it. Just it hasn't been consistent. That's pretty much WWE in a nutshell. That. So yeah, new women's tag team champions. So yeah, hopefully they do something cool with it. So not even more to say to it. To be fair, yeah, really good stuff there. So I guess we have to obviously next we go into the match. So it's kind of one of the big marquee matches. Obviously in night 2. Again, they've done similar booking. What they were going to do in night 1, they were putting the matches that kind of weren't as much interested, and then weave in the ones we are. So obviously I'm talking about the big match between Edge and AJ Styles. So yes, let's dive straight in and talk about that one. So yeah, so obviously the big one, the match that we kind of always wanted ever since Edge came back 2 years ago. It's always been on the bucket list of my bucket list, and I gotta be honest, Edge has been going through it. I'm obviously talking about Edge versus AJ Styles. Obviously it was kind of set. It's been set up since he returned at Royal Rumble 2 years ago. I think they faced up against each other. It's always been a match that we kind of wanted, but never the kind of sidetracked with stuff like he went against Orton, he went against Seth, he went against The Miz, all that kind of stuff. But he's going against the people we all wanted him to, so that's cool. But yeah, it's good, but intriguing, because obviously this is not just a face Edge versus a face AJ Styles. Obviously we've got the heel Edge, this new character of kind of like omnipotence, kind of above everything. Feels like he's kind of guy saying he's the benchmark of the WWE. It's like kind of, it seems like he's mixing it together. He's a bit more of the brood kind of dark gothic thing he's going for, but also the arrogance and the kind of I'm better than you type rated R superstar we had early on in his career. Mix that together, you got some really very different characters. Obviously we're using Alter Bridges, a new theme that's gonna, like, we all like, oh no, got rid of his old theme with but they've given it this theme. It works for his character. I mean, I think it's just it's interesting. It's different. And if anyone's would Edge be like what Jericho is, and find out that he's very good at reinventing himself. So, but yeah, I mean, it's good stuff here when it comes to the entrances, which AJ just got no one sadly, but not Triple H. Edge got a kind of like Triple H less throne type thing, where he's like sets up and it kind of like the phone comes out from the underneath, and obviously because he's the benchmark, the top of the mountain, he's better than everyone. That's kind of on the nose, but it works. But I think the story here is obviously that kind of stuff that obviously Edge attacked him and kind of bring out that ruthlessness of AJ, like the AJ of old, and he had to go that way to try and bring that out of him. That I like. So yeah, I mean, when it comes to the match, it was. It's interesting. The match was good. It was good. A lot of people say it's better than it was. It was fine. I think it was a very good storytelling type match. In the sense, because obviously AJ, I like the match. Side of the match, AJ's kind of his temper's getting the better of him. He really wants to get his hands on Edge, so he's going after him. Edge is kind of using this against him. We do have a situation where obviously early on, AJ Styles tried to do like his springboard 450 splash, but obviously Edge puts the knees up, and he started working on his ribs through the majority of the match. That in a way kind of played into the finish, if you think about it. Yeah, kind of played into the finish. We had a cool thing with Edge. What was it? A situation, a kind of nasty bump when he got a situation when he will both go onto the top rope and kind of was it Styles hitting Edge with a superplex onto the ring apron that must have really hurt Edge's back. That obviously played in a sense to finish well. Then obviously we got a Edge kind of crawled back in. Obviously, and AJ did hit that 450 splash for a near fall. It took a while, obviously, but the finish kind of we did have a nice little combination as well with kind of AJ Styles trying to go for the phenomenal forearm. Edge ducks, and then this leads into AJ hitting the Styles clash, but Edge just kicked out. Then obviously the kind of finish was that AJ was trying to go for the phenomenal forearm again, but he got distracted because he looked to his left. He looked to his left and he turned around and he see Damian Priest is there, not saying a word, not saying anything. Kind of confused, AJ. But again, this hesitation gave him Edge enough time to catch AJ Styles from. He did go to the attempt for the phenomenal forearm, but Edge catched him in mid-air with a spear, got the three, and Edge gets the win. Gets the win at WrestleMania, and obviously this kind of sets up a faction, because obviously afterwards, Damian Priest came in and they kind of just looked at each other, evil laughing, and then put the pose into the crowd, and there has been rumours that Edge is going to get a faction, and this is Damian Priest with Edge. I like it. I mean, jokes going around that is this like the House of Black in WWE? It feels like a Ministry of Darkness. A bit toned down, of course, but it's very dark and brooding. Or some said that's another thing. It could be a new Brood. It's got that kind of evil, kind of satanic, kind of occult thing going on, or vampiric type thing. So I'm liking it. I think Edge has another few. I think Edge has never really had a stable. I mean, the only one I can think of is La Family when he was with Vicky Guerrero, or when he had the Edgeheads with Zack Ryder and what's the other one? Yeah, with the Edgeheads. But he's never had a proper sinister faction, really. So yeah, I mean, it's a new character. I'm intrigued. It looks interesting. Damian Priest, it's good to see him doing something different, because obviously everyone he had anything for him, he won that US title, but he never done anything with him. So putting him with Edge, I'm assuming there's going to be more members of that faction. Very interesting. But if it's a situation where it builds up AJ to beat Edge and then become the big babyface and maybe win the WWE Championship again, or maybe Edge wins the WWE Championship. I mean, again, if Edge wins it, it'd be crazy to see him win the title again. But yeah, again, the match was solid. I don't think it's like I think what this match is going to remember for is probably not the match itself, because it was good, but I think they guys can do better. But I think it's the finish. Like a new faction is born in this WrestleMania. So I'm intrigued to what. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to watch Raw. I'm just not. But I'm going to intrigued to see what they come up with. The clips I see online, see what they're going to go there. So yeah, good match. But I think the finish is what's going to be remembered for. And that's not a bad thing. Not every match has got to be 5-star, but if it intrigues you to watch the show next week, it does its job. So yeah, it's good stuff here. I'm intrigued to see what Edge does with his new faction with Damian Priest. So yeah, cool. So Next match we're going to talk about is probably a match that I could probably blink and you miss it because it's very short. And yeah, so let's obviously quickly talk about the match between The New Day and Sheamus and Rich Holland. So yeah, so this match was between New Day and Sheamus and Rich Holland. Rich Holland was a match that was originally supposed to be on night one. Because obviously when I was watching night one, I was thinking, okay, Leicester put this match on the pre-show. They didn't do this year. That was kind of refreshing. No pre-show matches. But it was like on night one, I was like, okay, so they haven't had that match yet. So I think they had to cut it. And they've put it here on night two. And it's like, it was ending in like a minute or so. It's like a really quick match, quick snap, but or you miss it type match. I mean, it's really sad when you think about it because obviously you had the New Day coming out with Biggie inspired gear, kind of with the jacket and all that kind of stuff. The stuff he won when he won the WWE Championship. It was kind of a nice homage because obviously Rich Holland's kind of, not purposely I don't think, but obviously broke his Biggie's neck when he was trying to do a belly-to-belly suplex, a couple of SmackDown to go. So Biggie's out for like, I mean, I don't know how long it takes. It's probably after a year now. I don't know how long it takes to recover from a broken neck. So he'll be back. So, but you had that, but then the match ended in like a minute. They're kind of a bit deflated, but I want to. It's such a this match probably could have got away with being on a SmackDown main event, maybe, or like the first hour. Maybe, I mean, but it feels like it lacks from being already in cuts, so they had to put it on there because they've announced it, but they can't do much with it. But it's really sad when you think about it because you put all the effort and then the New Day lost as well. That's even more annoying because a lot of this match was just basically Butch or Pete Dunne. Again, let's not even get started on that gimmick change. I am not a fan. Just the perfect guy. Let him just be a badass. Let him be what we know him. Don't put this weird. Obviously, he's British, so that means he likes to fight type gimmick. It's with obviously the Fight Club, whatever type situation. But most of the match is just Sheamus trying to stop Butch or Pete Dunne trying to get into the match. Like, like a kid trying to he's a pit bull. It's basically what they're trying to book him as, a pit bull. Got to try and calm him down. He can't control himself. Type situation. But yeah, I mean, the match he had a bit with obviously early on. He obviously Kofi hits a Trouble in Paradise on Holland for getting near fall. But the match kind of ended with obviously Sheamus hitting, I think, was it Sheamus hitting a brogue kick on either Kofi or Woods? I think it was Kofi. And obviously Holland hits his Northern Grit finisher. I think on Woods. Yeah, that's what it's quick. You miss it. Hits that, gets the win. And afterwards you got Pete Dunne attacking Woods, and then we've got a situation of them trying to get him off him, and then that's it. It's not more we can talk about this match. It's pretty much what it is. I'm not a fan of this Pete Dunne gimmick change. Didn't have to, but it is what it is. Missing. Unless it's a situation where like they start off with this and then it builds into a situation where Pete Dunne kind of like he starts off as this rabid pitbull, but then more he goes on he becomes calmer and more sinister, and then maybe goes back into the Pete Dunne we know and love, maybe. Again, but I'll probably give him way too much credit there. That's not going to happen. It's just basically they wanted to completely change it for no reason other than just because they want something different. This is a perfect example of why sometimes WWE sucks when it comes to character changes. They do sometimes character changes that makes no sense, but it is what it is. But so obviously not more than we'd say about this match really. Just hope that they just come to their senses and make Pete Dunne again and just let him be a badass. Come on, people, just do it. Obviously after this we talk about. I don't know. This is going to be an interesting one to talk about. Obviously, we're talking about the match between. We're going to go and talk about the match between Pat McAfee and Austin Theory, and a lot of twists and turns. Not always the match, but a lot of interesting stuff happens. So let's go dive straight into talking about that. So now we talk about the match between Pat McAfee and Austin Theory. Obviously, this was a match set up when Vince McMahon was on Austin Theory's Pat McAfee's podcast. And kind of offered him, he's got a match at WrestleMania, but he gets to pick they pick the opponent type situation. And and obviously no surprise to anyone that obviously picked Austin Theory, because obviously he's like Mr. McMahon's chosen guy. You get very similar to Drew McIntyre's kind of chosen one gimmick. Kind of. No, yeah, it is. It's basically a ripple for that. But obviously this is the build-up's been, it was interesting to a point. But again, it's just interesting. Pat McAfee, when he was in the ring, when he was in NXT, he did go against like some like people like Adam Cole. Obviously the War Games match. A lot of people that are really good in the ring. Nothing against Austin Theory, but he's not there yet. So interesting to see, can you put together an interesting and good match. But yeah, I mean, it was consistently good. It was alright. It was good. Pat McAfee looks great in this match. We keep forgetting that the guy can do some crazy stuff. I mean, the way he can leap is just amazing. And he can do some cool moves that for a guy like him, like, shouldn't be able to do. But, I mean, when it comes to the match, obviously it started off with Mr. McMahon coming out, kind of, announcing Austin Theory, saying that he's going to be a future Universal Champion. That I think when I was watching other people's thoughts on it, it's like, but he's on Raw, right? Unless they're implying that whatever happens in the main event, they're both going to be defending on both shows, one guy, 2 shows. I don't know, but that was a weird comment. Not WWE's on Raw, so it's a little nitpick. So he came out, and obviously Pat Man came out with the Seven Nation Army, a theme with obviously the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders coming down with him. Yes, it's awesome stuff there, Essentials there. But yeah, it was just basically all Pat right out the gate, straight after him. Obviously we got Pat later on doing like some really cool like leap over. I think it was a leap over Austin Theory, and then obviously he landed. I think McAfee hit a nice spinning back elbow that looked really awesome. We also got a nice Hurricane Rana from him that looked really cool. But yeah, and obviously we got some nice like redemption from what Austin Theory did to him on SmackDown. Obviously the stuff where McAfee dumps Theory out to the ring, and then Theory slams him on the announce table and then grabs the headset, doing a little commentary while he's beating the crap out of a guy. I always like that. And then kind of takes one of the drinks, pulls it all over Austin Theory, kind of revenge for what he did to him a couple of weeks ago. Then obviously we got a situation with, at the top, we got it kind of the best bit of the match was obviously trying to go for the both on the top rope, and then obviously Austin Theory pushed him off and he done a flip, very similar to that flip he did against Adam Cole in his debut match. Done the flip, landed perfectly on his feet, and then leaped. We're not talking about like just leaped straight to the top rope, hit a nice superplex on Austin Theory. Gets the 1, gets 2, but yeah, just kicks out. But yeah, it's the big moment of the match. Then obviously we got, McAfee trying to go for the punt, but then Theory sidesteps him, and then then we've got ground and pound offensive, and then Theory tries to go for his finisher, but then McAfee counters, goes for a nice quick roll up and gets the win. So yeah, not surprised. All the celebrities or the people that getting a win here, but it's quite surprised because you think Theory would get the win because I want to push him, but again, it's not how it ended though. It's afterwards that's the interesting thing. With the situation of obviously after the match, you obviously got McAfee taunting Mr. McMahon. Mr. McMahon obviously sitting at ringside, I should point out, wasn't happy that his guys putting all support lost here. And obviously these kind of taunts by McAfee kind of really he displeased Mr. McMahon. So obviously kept looking every time more comments taunting he did. He took his jacket off, he took his shirt off, and then he had his ring gear. He had like the top he wears when he go into the ring. And I'm looking at this going, no, they wouldn't, right? I've heard rumours that he might, but they wouldn't, right? And then obviously the refs in the ring, the commentary team's kind of looking around going, okay, like what's going on? And then obviously McMahon obviously distracted McAfee. Theory attacked him from behind, and then before we knew it, boom, the bell rang. They rang the bell, and then obviously the crowd were like, oh wait, what? This is the match? So Mr. McMahon, in his first match probably for many years, going against Pat McAfee in a very short match. It wasn't great. It was not great. Basically, it's just got McMahon, Mr. McMahon, hitting clotheslines on McAfee, gets him back on his feet here, another clothesline. McMahon slams on his face onto the turnbuckle. McAfee gets pissed, then obviously Theory grabs his legs on the outsides and then pulls him, going first into the ring post, so it drags him. That's it. And then obviously Theory hands Mr. McMahon the football, and he punts it into McAfee's ribs. Then obviously McMahon after that goes for the cover. 1, 2, 3. Of course, he wins the match. It's his company. Of course, he can win. Then after that, obviously we've got gloating from both Theory and Mr. McMahon. Obviously, then they even hugged to try and take a selfie. I think they'd done that at the start of the match, but all that kind of stuff. And then all of a sudden the glass breaks. Of course it would be Stone Cold Steve Austin. So Stone Cold Steve Austin comes to the ring. Then you got a situation where, no surprise, he sees Theory, stunners him, sold it like a champ. Like, I would say he kind of been watching The Rock, because he sold it like The Rock did. You know, bouncing around like it's the worst thing ever. Then obviously we had a nice moment with Vince McMahon and like old times, Stone Cold Steve Austin and Vince McMahon sharing a beer. It's kind of funny when you got Vince kind of sipping it, going, okay. I don't think Stone Cold was expecting that. But this bit is just, it's probably considered the most worst Stone Cold Stunner sell I've ever seen. Is when obviously he takes a drink, and obviously we all know, as you know by now, eventually you're going to get stunned. But I don't know what happened here where he kicked him for the stunner. Vince McMahon kind of fall back and then kind of pushed himself back, and then obviously tried to get stunned. He didn't get any of it, and he just went on the floor and dropped on the floor. I mean, I'm telling it, it's so bad. I even see our video before I did a review of like his daughter, Mick Foley's daughter, just seeing Mick Foley just laughing his arse off, because it's so funny. It's so bad. It is so bad. But obviously after this, obviously you got so Vince, you know, Stone Cold Steve Austin pushed him out of the ring, you know, burnt hole, and then he gets some more beers, and then obviously you've obviously got McAfee coming in. Obviously you want to have a beer with Stone Cold Steve Austin if he asks, so even if you got to be a bit smarter knowing that you're probably going to get stunned, get a nice have a nice beer, and then what a shocker, stunner on Pat McAfee, but he sold it so good where it's like he hit it and then he went boom like that, and he's like beer stew, and he's like spit it out. It was a great sale. It's a great sale. And more beers, kept drinking. Walk down the ring, ends it like we ended night one. Stone Cold Steve Austin drinking beer, but this is just like, it's just, what is this? I don't know what to describe this whole segment, this whole thing. McAfee and kind of Austin Theory was a fine match. Wasn't expecting anything crazy. The match between McMahon was just, what is this? Okay, we're doing this for the moment, not for any quality. Stone Cold, that stunner, awful, but it's like, it's so bad, but it's like it's fun, because it makes me, it's like, it's so bad it's like you can laugh. So, and you can do that sometimes. WWE, it's like, I really want to crap on this so much, but I can't. It's just great moment, especially seeing Austin not once but twice stunner people. How can you not be happy when you stunner people? Vince can't sell a stunner. I think that's just what we found out over the years. Watch his first stunner many years ago by Austin, worst one ever. People have done so much better, but yeah, you just can't sell it. And I guess in all the time doesn't change anything, does it? Just can't take a stunner. But yeah, it got everyone nice, chilled. Everyone's happy, leading up to the kind of big main event, the one that they've sacrificed their entire mid card to try and put across. Is this big winner take all unification match for the WWE Universal Championships, with obviously Brock, the WWE Champion, going against Roman Reigns. So obviously we've got a nice light-hearted thing. So yeah, we've got to talk about it. It's what they've built up for the last couple of months, sacrificing their whole roster to just get this match. So it better be good, right? But let's go and talk about that one. So we've got there. We've finally got there. We've gone through got through night one. We've got through the majority of night two. We are now in the main event. What they've built everything around for this whole show, and probably this whole company for the last couple of months, is the winner take all match, unification match, the Beast Brock Lesnar versus Tribal Chief Roman Reigns. Yeah, I don't know really what to think about this match. The problem with this match is you've seen it like 1,000 times. It's like, 7-8 meeting they've had in the last couple of years. With this kind of match, you're always going to get a kind of situation where they just basically like Superman punch, spear, F5, combination of all that kind of stuff. They all hit their finishers. They all kick out. I mean, there was a bit in this match where he kind of hit the F5 and it's like you knew he was going to kick out because you just know with these matches. That's what happens when you don't protect finishes as much. But we had that, but obviously, I mean, it started off pretty cool. Obviously, you got Roman Reigns coming out with his family there. That was pretty cool. Obviously, you got Brock coming out as well. That was cool. We had a bit right at the start where obviously Paul Heyman grabs the mic and announces Roman like he used to announce Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar laughed this off, but I just think that was really nice. Like, yeah, stick it to you, Brock. And then obviously you got Paul. Gotta be honest, this feud. It's one thing about this run, the cowboy Brock Lesnar. It's like it's proved that the guy can speak. The guy's good. The guy's good on the mic. He's got way better over the years. He's never been bad. It's just he's never been. His in-ring ability is probably better than his mic work, but his mic work is normally quite solid. And then so in this place, he just grabs the mic and does his own ring announcement. Or himself, really cool. Obviously, Paul Heyman was like, "Oh no, he doesn't actually need me. Oh, this is not good." So, but yeah, as I said, you got a lot of the F5s, spears, nothing crazy here, but. Yeah, the kind of situation as you expect. You're going to have it, but near the end had a ref bumped in it. It's obviously later on into the match. Obviously, we got Roman going for the spear, but then it counters into an F5. Obviously, Reigns kicks out for the 2. Then you got Lesnar drags Reigns back onto his feet, but then obviously Reigns go for the spear right in front of the ref, takes out the ref. The ref is down. Obviously, Reigns takes violence, low blows again. Seems to be the go-to move. I mean, I'm guessing he hasn't learned. Just get like the cup thing that stops that. One day someone's going to do that and I'm going to love it. Like, someone's going to try and low blow and he doesn't work. It's like, yeah, he's thinking. But yeah, just low blow. And then obviously Heyman hands him the Universal title. Similar to what I think he done at Royal Rumble. Yeah, Royal Rumble. Or yeah, where it's like, hands him the title, hits him around the head with the title. The rest begins to get up. Reigns goes for the cover. But somehow Brock Lesnar kicks out. Then obviously the match ended with kind of Roman going for a spear in the back, but it kind of looked, but the way it done it is like it looked like a bulldog more than a spear. Then obviously Roman follows up with a clean spear, but then Lesnar counters into the Kimura, but he really had it Lynch locked in real tight. I think there was kind of thoughts to point out that he might have actually dislocated his put so much torque on it, he might have accidentally popped his shoulder out of place while he was doing it. Obviously Reigns got to the ropes there, but then obviously Heyman saying his shoulder was out, and I think he popped it back in. Lesnar, and then it was in the match, Lesnar tries to go for the F5, and then Reigns floats over, gets out of the way, gets out of it, hits another spear, 1, 2, 3. Here's your unified champion. He is now the WWE and Universe champion, the Tribal Chief in Roman Reigns. It was fine. I mean, I think it's like it's a downer when it comes like it was. I think no one was expecting anything amazing. And we've seen it all before. We've seen every variation, every permutation of what we can get from this kind of feud. All I'm saying is I hope it's over. Like, can we have a situation where Roman actually has a more meaningful against somebody else? Because I think I like this Brock run, but he needs to face somebody else. Because it's been fun, but it's like, is it worth it if you're sacrificing your entire roster to do it? I just don't get it. But yeah, it's kind of a tease from my old TEW save, where that's what I'm trying to build on my booking, is to say you can do that match, but still have a decent up and mid card. Still have a mid card, so that's the plan. But so yeah, that kind of ends the show really. But yeah, we have Universal Champion, new WWE and Universal Champion. The question is, what they're going to do with it though. Is it going to be a situation he loses it like tonight? He puts the belt down, he just wins it and says I've done it. Is it going to be a situation where he's on both shows now? So we're going to have first time probably since the early brand extension is where the one person has both the titles and they've gone both shows. Rating wise, that probably would do well, but then creative wise, that would be very confusing. So I don't know. Or they just unify it for a while and see, maybe they can have time to build. So yeah, so it'd be interesting to see what they do. I am intrigued. So yes, let's go and just round up. Let's do my final thoughts and just about both nights, night 1 and night 2. Let you know what was the better show. Let's find out. So yes, that's night 1, night 2, my WrestleMania 38 night 1, night 2 review. Interesting. It was going into it. I said I was not looking forward to this WrestleMania, but it's really turned out to be a very, very entertaining night. 2 nights. I really had some cool moments. Really good stuff. I mean, I still think night 1 was better than night 2. I think it was just more consistent. Obviously, the Bianca Belair and Becky Lynch is still my favourite match of both nights. I think it's what I want. I think that's the better match. Obviously, Seth Rollins versus Cody Rhodes, obviously one that's close second maybe. That was a very entertaining, very good match. But obviously the Stone Cold thing was very cool as well on night one. Night two, obviously we had I think the AJ fight. I think AJ versus Edge was a good match. I mean, I'm interested in what the story be there. Obviously the thing with Ost was it Vince McMahon had a match first time in how many years, was crazy. The main event was alright, and yeah, I think they both put together a really entertaining night. I think night one just had a bit more. I just think it had a bit more. But yeah, I don't know more to say. But it's really to say, yeah, it was, congratulations, W. You surprised me. I have to remember this with WrestleMania. They really just jam packed this one, and there were some cool moments in there. Oh yeah, I forgot to put. Obviously, I got to put a big shout out to that Sami Zayn and Johnny Knoxville fun comedy match. So good, so fun. But yeah, I don't know what to say. I think that was really, you shocked me, WWE. Maybe this is what my expectations got to be in the future. To like go into expecting this kind of stuff. They do like stuff like this for WrestleMania. I'll be happy. The problem I always have is this, there's never the story there to really make it even more exciting, like they used to do. So, but that's cool. If we're gonna give ratings, night one I'll probably give an 8 out of 10. Probably give night two probably 7.5 out of 10. Still good, very good shows. I enjoyed both of them. I felt like it was worth staying up both nights, 5 in the morning, to watch them. So I didn't get up going, why did I stay up and watch that garbage? It was like, yeah, it was worth every bit of penny of it. It's worth it. So yeah, that's my review of night 1, night 2, WrestleMania 38. Hope you enjoy. Obviously, if you like what we do here, please like and subscribe. I need to point out, thank you so much for everyone that subscribed to us. We just hit 100 a couple of days ago. Awesome stuff. I've got things, new ideas fixed. Obviously, we've put most of our reviews from 2020, 21, and obviously these reviews here. So hopefully I can put up some older reviews, maybe when we started out, so you can see the correlation of how we've changed over the years. Yeah, hope you enjoy this review. Again, another solo review by myself. Just at some point, Josh will be back, and when it is, it's going to be amazing. I cannot wait to talk about wrestling with him yet again. It's going to be like another grand return, like a certain Cody Rhodes was here. So when he comes back, it's going to be amazing. So hope you enjoyed my view. Like and subscribe. Check out our Twitter at Justin2Pod. Check out our Instagram at Just Two Wrestling Podcast. Obviously, you watch this on YouTube, you know, that kind of stuff. So check that out. Don't more to say is thank you for watching this review, and yeah, I'll be either me or Josh together, or I'll be back with our next review. That I don't know if it's an AEW next, or probably back for WrestleMania Backlash probably. So till then, have an awesome rest of your day, and see you guys soon. So see you later on. Bye.